Queen Tacha stood in her dark throne room. The candles flickered in the wind. Her eyes were full of worry. Her kingdom was in danger. The river is dry. The crops are dying, she said. Her chief advisor stepped forward. He looked afraid. My queen, only the Moonlit Mirror can help. But no one has found it in 100 years. Tacha looked around the room. Her people trusted her. She could not fail them. She clenched her fist. Then I will find the mirror myself. Even if I must go alone. The advisors tried to stop her, but she had made up her mind. The kingdom of Zaira needed hope. And Tacha would go to the ends of the desert to find it. Tacha wore her traveling cloak and stepped out of the palace. The moon was high in the sky. The desert wind blew softly. She rode a black horse through the silent night. The stars lit her path. Sun stretched far in every direction. She remembered stories her mother told her. Stories about a magical mirror that showed the truth and could heal the land. Suddenly, she saw a light in the distance. A strange, glowing light that moved like it was alive. She rode toward it. The light led her to a tall sand dune. At the top, she saw eyes glowing in the darkness. A voice whispered in the wind, "Turn back." But Tacha spoke clearly. "I will not turn back. My people need me." The wind grew stronger. But she held tight to her saddle. She would not be afraid. Tacha climbed the dune on foot. The sand was soft and warm. Her heart beat fast. At the top, the sand began to move. It swirled and rose into the shape of a tall figure. The sand wraith. A guardian made of dust and magic. Its eyes glowed bright like fire. "Many have come," the wraith said. None returned. Tacha stood firm. "I come to find the Moonlit Mirror. I must save my people." The wraith floated forward. "To pass, you must give what you hold most dear." Tacha reached into her bag. She took out a small bottle. It held the last clean water from the river. She poured the water onto the sand. It steamed and sank into the ground. The wraith watched silently. Then it nodded. "Your gift is accepted. You may go on." But the mirror tests the heart, not the hand. The sand where the water fell began to glow. Golden light lit up the ground. Tacha stepped forward. The ground opened. A stone path appeared under the sand. She followed the glowing path. It led her deeper into the desert. The stars faded. The night grew darker. Strange shapes moved in the distance. But Tacha kept going. She had no fear. Her heart was full of hope. She reached a canyon with high walls. The path went through a narrow gate. Carvings of suns and moons covered the rocks. Tacha touched them. They were warm. She walked through the gate and entered the forbidden oasis. Water flowed there. Flowers bloomed. In the center stood a stone circle. Symbols were written on each stone. Tacha stepped closer. She knew she had found the place of the mirror. But it was still hidden. A new test was coming. Inside the circle were 7 stones. Each one had a symbol: sun, moon, star, tree, bird, river, and fire. Tacha looked around. On the ground was a riddle written in old script. To find the truth and end the drought. Step where the light does not go out. She thought for a moment. The sun sets. The moon shines all night. The answer must be the moon. She stepped on the stone with the moon symbol. It glowed softly. Then another riddle appeared. Next is life that sings and flies. The one that dances in the skies. She smiled and stepped on the bird symbol. It glowed too. She solved all the riddles, one by one. Each step lit up the circle. At the last step, the ground shook. The middle of the circle opened. A staircase led down into the earth. Tacha took a deep breath and stepped inside. Tacha walked down the stone steps. The walls were covered in gold and blue tiles. At the bottom was a large room. In the center stood a tall mirror. It was smooth and shining. She stepped closer. Her reflection looked back at her. But then it changed. She saw her kingdom. The dry river. The hungry children. The worried mothers. Then she saw herself as a little girl, playing by the river. The mirror showed her joy, pain, fear, and love. It showed her truth. A voice came from the mirror. Only the pure of heart may ask for healing. Tacha placed her hand on the glass. I ask not for power, but to save my people. The mirror glowed. Light filled the room. The ground shook again. The room disappeared. Tacha opened her eyes. She was back in the throne room. But something was different. The room was full of mist. Voices whispered around her. She saw people she had failed. Soldiers lost in battle. Villagers without food. They looked at her with sad eyes. A voice said, "You carry their pain. Do you still wish to lead?" Tacha fell to her knees. Yes. I do. I have made mistakes, but I will never stop trying. The mist cleared. The voices faded. She was alone again. The mirror stood before her. This time, her reflection smiled. A single drop of water rolled down the glass. Tacha caught it in her hand. Tacha left the hidden room. The path behind her disappeared. She walked through the desert. The sun was rising. When she reached the palace, her people ran to greet her. She held up the small bottle. It was full again. The water was clear and pure. She poured it into the dry fountain. Water began to flow. Chairs ran out. Children danced. The river returned by noon. Crops began to grow again. The kingdom of Zaira was healing. Tacha smiled. She had passed the test. But she knew this was only the beginning. Days later, Tacha met with her council. The land is healing, said the chief advisor, but we must protect the mirror. Where is it now? Another advisor asked. Aisha looked out the window. The mirror is safe. Hidden where only the true of heart can find it. What if someone unworthy tries? They asked. Tacha stood tall. Then the mirror will show them their truth. She knew the mirror had changed her. It would change others too. From now on, Zaira would not rely only on magic. It would grow strong through wisdom and kindness. The sun rose over Zaira. The river flowed. Children laughed. People worked together to plant new crops. Tacha walked through the village. The people bowed to her, but she lifted their hands. We lead together, she said. The moonlit mirror had shown her pain and hope. Now, she chose to lead with love. In the palace, she placed a small carving of the mirror on the wall. It would remind everyone that truth is powerful. That the heart is stronger than the hand. The kingdom of Zaira was no longer cursed. It was reborn. And Queen Tacha's story had only just begun. If you love this story, hit subscribe for more African folktales from Zaira and beyond. Share this video with friends who enjoy legends of Queen Tacha and the Moonlit Mirror. Leave a comment below on which was your favorite part and what folktale we should explore next. Remember to turn on notifications so you never miss a new chapter of Zaira's adventures.